episode 3 of HubcityFibers podcast. My name is Lillian, and I am coming to you from New Brunswick, New Jersey area. I currently live in Piscataway, where I live with my boo and 2 kitties. And yeah, this is a podcast about knitting and spinning, and well, sometimes spinning. I don't really spin all that much anymore, but it's mostly about knitting, and as well as a little bit about when I hand dye yarn, because I do have my own yarn dyeing company called HubcityFibers, hence the name. So let's dive on into the episode. You can find me on Instagram as @HubcityFibers, as well as on Ravelry as LP384, which I will not go into detail as to why I put that as my handle on Ravelry. It was kind of like my college ID, so when I created Ravelry, I just used my net ID at school. So yeah, so let's talk about, let's talk about what I'm wearing, because this was one of my works in progress and I actually finished it. So this is the Perfect Crop Top by Teresa. I'll put it here in the down bar what the designer's name was. I forget her name. Her name is Teresa. Her last name is, I'm forgetting her last name, but it is a crop top that I got inspired by a woman that I met at Knitty City in New York in the Upper West Side, and she knit like 8 of these, so I was like, I need to cast on, and it was like an easy, fun project, and this is it. So this is the front. It's just like a very simple, I like the fact that it came off the shoulders a little bit, which is perfect for spring because spring's coming up, as well as the back. I wanted to finish it for my trunk show that I had this Saturday at the Yarn Addict, and I was able to do that, so I'm really happy. And yeah, so that's a little bit about what I'm wearing. I also have a half object that I'm keeping in my bag that I got in Turkey a while back. I never knew it would become my sock bag, but it has become my sock bag, so I'm happy about that. So as I showed you guys, oh, actually, I didn't even tell you guys about this last time I was on the podcast, but so I decided to dye this colorway for socks. It's called Many Moons Ago. So this is the half object, and it's a pattern called Roller Cities. It's a free sock pattern like for shorties on Ravelry, and it honestly is, I knit this in one day. I was watching Gilmore Girls and I literally finished this in one day. I actually finished this the night of the Super Bowl, like in one day, which I've never ever have I ever finished a sock in a 12-hour period, like ever. I literally dyed this and dried it with a blow dryer because I was desperate to cast on, and I knit it in one day, which I kind of surprised myself when I did that. And so that's my half object, but I'm on the second sock. No second sock syndrome here. And so and I'm using my Haya Sharps in size 1.5, US 1.5, and that's pretty much worked for me. And then, so this is the colorway. It has some mauves, and it has like kind of like a neon yellow as well as some blues. And the reason why I called this colorway Many Moons Ago, I was watching, like I said, I was watching Gilmore Girls, and there was an episode where they kept on saying Many Moons Ago, and I was like, oh, that would be such a perfect colorway name for this, since it just resonated with me at the time when I was knitting it. So I was like, that's what I'm going to call it. My cats like to play. So if you hear them in the background, they're playing with one of my hair ties. But, so, I have that. Another work in progress that is actually a finished project. I showed you guys the half object last time. My Regia socks. They are super, they're like calf socks. They go all the way almost up to my knee. And so, yeah. These are my calf socks. I just did a regular vanilla sock pattern. And yeah, so I did a 1x1 rib, and then I just did a straight shoot, a regular, I can never remember this heel, the name of this heel is. It's a heel flap. Anyways, I pretty much always knit the Roller City pattern on the Roller City sock pattern on pretty much every sock that I knit, vanilla sock, just because, and then I just extend the leg as much as I want to, so that's just what I've always done. I do want to cast on some pattern socks, and which I've never done like a pattern sock, but I definitely want to maybe try like Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast or Jacqueline Salem's Clark socks. Like those look like a lot of fun, and it would be like a really great intro to kind of pattern sock, cabled socks, like a cabled sock pattern, or maybe even Hermione's everyday sock I heard is like amazing. Everybody's talking about that on Ravelry. So yeah, these are my two finished objects. These are some makeshift sock blockers that, I don't know if I talked to you guys about this. I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah. Sad sock. But yeah, so I didn't wear these because I really wanted to podcast about them and show you guys the finished object, but as soon as I'm done recording, I'm going to put these on and waltz around the house in them, because there's nothing like wearing a fresh pair of hand knit socks. They're like my favorite thing. They make me super happy to know that I've made socks and that I knit them and I can wear them. And I don't know, they tend to last a lot longer, and yeah, I really love hand knit socks. So I'm happy I can add this pair to my collection, because a lot of the time I feel like during the colder season, I feel like a lot of the knitting that I do is more for others, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a selfish knitter. I like to knit for myself. I don't really like to knit for others, just because, I don't know, I guess I don't have to explain myself as to why. I just don't. I just really enjoy knitting for myself. So enough about those. Yeah, I couldn't believe I got all this done. I got this done. I got this sock done. I'm almost done with these socks. These shorties. Highly recommend them. And yeah, so I want to talk to you guys about my newest cast on. All of the podcasters I've been watching have been talking about being sweater centric this year, like knitting just monogamously on sweaters, and I think I'm gonna go towards that same route as well. So living in my You Sew and Sew sheep bag. I love this bag. I get so many compliments on it. Sometimes I use it as a purse. Is my Threpmure. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'll put it right here on the down bar or something. I don't know. It's by Isolde. Anyways, Willemvine, the podcaster for Yarngasm, actually knit this, and I saw it and immediately fell in love, because I recently went to Iceland back in September. I went to Iceland, and you know, the one thing I wanted in Iceland, obviously because I'm a knitter, is a lopapesa, which is a traditional Icelandic sweater. But when I was there, I just didn't find one that kind of sat with me or like looked the way I wanted to look on me. But luckily, I am a knitter, so I knew that casting on something that resembled Elopepesa or Elopepesa itself would be in my future. And so when I saw that Vine or Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast casted on the Thremp Mior designed by this designer, and I purchased the pattern right away because I said, oh my god, that's a yoke sweater, and I really want a yoke sweater. So, and this is my first yoke sweater ever. I've never worked a yoke sweater, and yeah, so far so good. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Usually when I'm working on a Fair Isle project or a colorwork project, I tend to always be a little bit more reserved just because it tends to be a project that you have to really focus on. So, for example, everybody was knitting those mittens by, what's her name? I forget her name too. Oh my god. I forget her name. Anyway, it's right. Skein Knits. There you go. Skein Knits. Everyone was knitting her mittens, and they were raving about them. But when I knit them, I enjoyed knitting them. Here, let me go get them. Let me just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, I knit one Skein knit mitten. And don't get me wrong, these are gorgeous. These are so beautiful. I love the little design that comes with the thumb. I love the front design. And I used this exact same yarn that I used to make my, the perfect crop top. And I really like the way that this came out and the design. The little details of this was very beautiful, but for whatever reason, I did not enjoy knitting these. I don't know why. I haven't even cast it on for the second mitten, and to be honest, I don't, I finished this mitten and I was excited to kind of to wear it when I was done. And as soon as I put it on, although it is aesthetically beautiful and I love it, I should say, because it's just one, I think I'm just gonna I don't wear mittens. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not a mitten person. I'm constantly on my cell phone. I am the stereotypical millennial that is always, when not entertained by what's around, like glued to my phone. It's terrible. I know. I suffer from it. I'll be the first to admit it. I am always on my cell phone. It's terrible. It's bad. But I can't use these. Although it is beautiful, I can't use these when I'm driving. When it's freezing out, I'm always on my cell phone, like I said, and so, mittens are not really made for cell phone addicts like myself. But I don't know, maybe next year I'll change my mind and I'll decide to finish this one. I'll decide to finish the left mitten. We'll see. For now, I think I'm not going to frog this. I am not a frogger. I will not frog things. I will just abandon them and just put them away. And if I see them and they don't bring joy to me, I'll just chuck it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not someone that's going to frog it unless I'm just not going to frog it. So, but now that I have this out, I kind of really love it. But yeah, I'm not a mitten person, but it's beautiful nonetheless. So yeah, so like I was saying, living in my You Sew and Sew project bag that I sometimes use as a purse, and people always compliment me on, like non-knitters always compliment me on. I feel like we should have like a term for people that are non-knitters. Like, how like people that love Harry Potter call each other like muggles, or people that are non-magical are called muggles for Harry Potter. I think that we should have like a term like that for people that don't knit. So, And so I cast it on, I know. I cast it on my Thremp Mior. I'm going to have to repeat that like 8 times before the next podcast because I'm having a teeny bit of trouble pronouncing that. But it is, that's it. My Threat Mior by Isolde Lative. I might be saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. But I'm sure she's not watching this. But, this is a stitch marker I got when I ordered some yarn by the Homespun House by Molly. And I love it because at the time I was drinking a crap ton of tea. But I reverted back to my coffee habit because obviously coffee's superior. But yeah, I decided to use. So I went online as soon as I saw that. Like, okay, maybe I saw when she first cast it on. I was like, I need to knit something like that. Vine, I'm referring to. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to cast that on. I need to cast that on. And then I just saw another episode of hers where she pretty much had the entire body done of the sweater, and I was like, okay, it's happening. Like, it needs to happen. I'm done with this sweater. I'm pretty much just knitting socks. I'm not doing anything big. I don't feel like casting on a shawl. So I bought the pattern right away and then went on the Woolly Thistle. And I purchased the Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight yarn, which is 100%, as they proclaim, real Shetland, as opposed to fake. And, oh, I love it. I tend to gravitate, like I said in the past, I tend to gravitate towards very natural yarns. I just love the feel of them. I love the way they knit. I love the way they block out. I just really love natural wools. And so this is made in the UK. I had no idea until now. And I bought 10 of these. And then, oops. And I also bought, for the 2 colors, I bought these, which is a yellow and a green. And so my inspiration for picking these colors, these 3 colors, so this is the main color that I'm using, just like a natural white, a natural sheepy color. And then my inspiration for choosing like green and yellow comes from a sweater that Madewell came out with, the company Madewell, and they had a yoke sweater that they had, that they showcased throughout the entire winter that had this green, this yellow, and like an orange color. This pattern only calls for 2 contrasting colors, so I chose, green and yellow because I love yellow. I'm a yellow person. I'll admit it. And yeah, I guess I'll put a picture, I'll put a picture here of what the sweater looked like by Madewell. And so I wanted to get that sweater, but I always told myself, like, I'm gonna knit a yoke style, traditional Lopepesa style sweater, Fair Isle sweater. So I never got around to purchasing it, and so yeah, I'm really excited when I finish this, I'm really excited. And I think it's coming out so good. Like, I'm almost halfway done with the yoke. I'm on like row 21 of like 50 something. And I'm so excited, guys. I never, ever, ever, I just get really excited when I knit something that I've never really knit before. Like, I never knit a yoke style sweater. It's something that I'm learning to do. And I'm really excited with the progress that's coming out with it. So, yeah. Those are my works in progress / finished objects / the beginning of my stash acquisitions. So I guess I'll move on to that, my stash acquisitions, which is, I had a trunk show this past Saturday at the Yarn Addict in Hillsborough, New Jersey. It was a lot of fun, and when I have a trunk show, I tend to kind of want to commemorate the trunk show by picking up some yarn that some yarn that they have in their store to kind of commemorate my trunk show there. So I decided, since I was on a Shetland kick, to get me a skein of this gorgeous Croft Shetland Tweed by West Yorkshire Spinners. And this is a British yarn as well. Oh, it's in association with Jamieson and Smith. That's hilarious. I didn't even know. I did not even know. Wow. That's, don't you just love when that happens? So this is, I picked this up for Steve, really. I'm gonna make him some socks. I'm doing like what Molly does. It's like I knit a pair of socks for me, and then I'll knit a pair of socks for the significant other. Significant other socks. Or maybe that was, anyways, whoever's it's from. I plan to knit a pair of socks for Steve with this. He actually picked out the color. I had 3 of these colors that I got, and of the 3 I took a picture and he picked this one out. The color of this one is called Moss Bank, which is really appropriate. It's very beautiful. It has like, let's see if I can hold it up a little bit more. It has like these, it's like a beautiful green, but it has like these like blues and like little bits of like caramel in it, as well as, nope, that's pretty much it. Green, white, caramel, and like a natural navy blue. And yeah, I'm excited to knit with these. I don't know when I'm going to cast these on, but yeah. So as you could see, I usually have this wall filled with all the yarn, but it's empty. This week it's empty, and it's mostly because I've been too lazy to bring back my stock inside the house because it was raining the day of my trunk show, so it's still in the back. And I'm just going to go take them to Rutgers Gardens, which is where I photograph pretty much all the yarn that I have, just because I'm extra like that. Oh, I totally forgot to talk about these. So okay, so you know when people on Instagram post like, oh, I'm getting rid of my books, I'm getting rid of my books. And so I took up the offer of someone getting rid of some books, and I don't remember her name either. Jeez, I'm so bad today. I'm so bad. Maybe it's the weather. Anyway, so this lovely person that I follow on Instagram was giving away books, and at the time I was on my spinning kick, my drop spinning kick, and I still want to get like an electric spinning wheel, but there's just not enough time in the day for me to spin, unfortunately. I'm thinking about getting a spinning wheel. Not a spinning wheel. I showed you guys my handmade spinning wheel. An e-spinner. I want to get an e-spinner, I think, in the next 10 years. That's like my goal. My 10-year goal is to like land in an e-spinner. But anyways, this woman was so kind. She was getting rid of these books. And the first one she gave to me was the Hanson Spinning Lee Raven. And it's cool. It's called Hands on Spinning. And it's pretty much everything you need to know to spin, you know, yarns for knitting, weaving, crocheting, other yarn crafts. I'm literally reading the back of the book. But so it teaches you a little bit about carding, which I have. It teaches you about how to speed up using the hand spindle. Telling you about twists, like the Z and S twist. Drafting, winding on, spinning on a hook stick. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of look through this. Some toilet reading. Yes. The second book was another one by the same, no, it's not the same author. That's a joke. Author. Sorry. So this is The Whole Craft of Spinning, from raw material to finished yarns. Oh, and it tells you about all the different types of fibers. Flax, fibers from birds. Whoa, even human hair. Human hair. Who knew? Yarns made of human hair are strong and durable. They vary from soft and slightly whiskery to downright prickly, depending upon the texture of the hair being used and how it's spun. I don't think long hair is easiest to spin. Good to know. But if you cannot obtain it, like, I don't know if I'll ever, I don't think I'll ever, I don't think I'll ever venture into spinning with human hair. Maybe cat hair, but even that is no, I just wouldn't even do that. And then this one is spin to knit. So it's kind of like teaches you, like, you know, depending on what you're knitting, maybe a more efficient way to spin for whatever it is that you're gonna knit. This has a lot of illustrations. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, like these socks. These are, I want to knit one day. So I have something on the drop spindle, which I do when I like am not in the mood to knit, which occasionally happens. I knit every day. I want to say I knit every day. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, I definitely knit every day. I feel off if I don't knit. But sometimes there are those days where I just don't want to knit at all. Like I don't want to do it. So I'll just spin a little if I want to like do something with my hands. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up this episode. It's kind of short, even though I kind of had a lot of works in progress and some finished objects. The next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is my next trunk show. I will be having my next trunk show in Downtown Yarns in the lower east side? No. Is it the east side? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the lower east side. It's by Cats. That Jewish deli. So I'm excited for that because there's nothing like Jewish delis to me. Like I'm going to get my knish fix and my pastrami fix. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about that once that approaches a little bit more. And I'm really excited for that trunk show. And so just so you guys remember, once we get to 100 subscribers, I will be giving away this skein of sock yarn, which is 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon. It is in my whimsical colorway. And yeah, so if you're liking what I'm talking about and you like what I see, if you like what you see, geez, subscribe and comment below. Usually I would show you what I've dyed, but like I said, I left that in the car, unfortunately. So, yeah, that should be all. Have a good day. Happy spinning, happy knitting. And until next time, bye.